There are 3 20-minute pockets to install and then practice to mastery level. The first 20-minute pocket of the 20-20-20 formula requires that you move. Simply put, doing some sweaty exercise first thing every morning will revolutionize the quality of your days. The second pocket encourages you to reflect for 20 minutes. This segment is designed to help you reaccess your natural power, boost self-awareness, dissolve your stress, fuel your happiness and restore your inner peace. In an era of acute overstimulation and excessive activity. And you'll round out this 60-minute victory hour of personal fortification with 20 minutes, centered around ensuring that you grow, whether that means investing some time reading a book that will improve your understanding of how the best lives were made, or an article that will refine your professional prowess, or listening to an audio session on how the virtuosos accomplish their unusual results, or watching an educational video that will show you how to lift your relationships, or increase your finances, or deepen your spirituality. As you cats now know, the leader who learns the most wins. One of the most helpful things I've ever learned from the Spellbinder was that starting my mornings with a strong workout, pretty much right after I jumped out of bed, was of the utmost importance. I still remember his actual words, and they were firm. You must begin your day with intense exercise. This is a non-negotiable. Otherwise the 20-20-20 formula won't work. And all. Take back your membership in the 5 a.m. club. 3 doves flew over the billionaire. He eyed them with a giant grin, blew a kiss to one, and then advanced his discourse on the morning routine of history makers. Training rigorously first thing in the morning is a total game changer. Moving vigorously shortly after you get up will generate an alchemy in your brain, based on its neurobiology, which will not only wake you up fully but electrify your focus and energy, amplify your self-discipline and launch your day in a way that makes you feel on fire. Now, to be ultra-practical for you too, all. Say that your workout could mean taking a spinning class or performing a bunch of jumping jacks and burpees, or skipping like the pro boxers love to do, or doing wind sprints. Not sure what will work best for you. The real key here, though, is to make sure you sweat. Why? Asked the artist, now taking copious notes. For the reason you'll see on the diagram. As you know now, cortisol is the hormone of fear. It's made in the cortex of the adrenal glands and is then released into the blood. Cortisol is one of the main materials that stunts your genius and devastates your implicit opportunity to make history. Very good. Scientific data confirms that your cortisol levels are highest in the morning. Fascinating information, observed the entrepreneur, as she performed another stretch in the Roman sunshine. Yes, it is. So, exercising from 5 to 5:20 a.m. for just 20 minutes will significantly lower your cortisol and, therefore, dial you into your top performance. Fantastic way to start a morning, right? Science has also shown there's a vital link between physical fitness and cognitive ability. The sweating from a powerful workout releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supercharges that organ for a winning day. Wow, said the entrepreneur, also taking notes at a furious pace. BDNF has been shown to repair brain cells damaged by stress and accelerate the formation of neural connections, so you think better and process faster, expounded the billionaire. Another gargantuan competitive advantage, for sure. Oh, and it also promotes neurogenesis, so you'll actually grow new brain cells. What's that alone worth to you? Wow times 2, shouted the artist, sounding very corny verses displaying any hint of cool. My business will be untouchable and I, personally, will become unbeatable. As I execute on all these ideas you're so generously sharing with us, offered the entrepreneur, modeling what she'd seen Mr. Riley do when others had been kind to him. She performed a slight bow to show her appreciation. Absolutely, agreed the billionaire. And by exercising intensely during the first 20-minute pocket of the 20-20-20 formula, you'll also release dopamine, which you well know is the neurotransmitter of drive, along with elevating your amounts of serotonin, the wonderful chemical that regulates happiness. This means that by 5:20 a.m., while your competitors are counting sheep, you're already amped to lead your field, achieve excellent results, and make the day ahead epic. Would it be possible for you to be specific about what we need to do in order to make sure we're up with the sun? Requested the entrepreneur. I mean, can you get into a little bit of detail about what behaviors we must perform so we actually get out of bed when that alarm clock goes off? I hope that's not a dumb question. Is that too basic? It's a great question, said the artist as he stroked his girlfriend's back. It's a fabulous question, exclaimed the tycoon. And sure, like I've suggested, buy an old school alarm clock. That's what I use. As I said in Agra, you never want to sleep with any technology in your bedroom. I'll explain why soon. Once you have your alarm clock, advance the time on it from the actual time to 30 minutes ahead. Then set the alarm for 5:30 a.m. Really? Indicated the artist. That seems odd. I know, admitted the billionaire. But it works like magic. You trick yourself into thinking you're getting up later, but you're actually rising at 5 a.m. This tactic just works. So, do it. Next, and this sounds obvious but it's another key hack, as soon as the alarm goes off, bolt out of bed before your weaker self sucks you into all the reasons to stay in bed. Before your rational mind can come up with reasons to remain under the covers. You just need to make it through that 66-day habit installation process so that waking up at 5 a.m. reaches the automaticity point, and it becomes easier to get up early than sleep later. When I first joined the 5 a.m. club, I slept in my workout clothes. Mr. Riley looked slightly embarrassed. Then more doves and butterflies passed by, and a wisp of a rainbow could be seen spreading across the Spanish steps. You're kidding me, brother, right? Laughed the artist as he twirled a dreadlock. You really slept in your exercise gear. I did, admitted the billionaire. And my running shoes were laid out right next to my bed. I did whatever it took to eliminate the death grip that common excuses could have over me. The entrepreneur was nodding. She appeared stronger and happier as each day passed. Anyway, let me keep jamming on the point about exercising first thing in your morning. By working out intensely, you'll stimulate that natural pharmacy of mastery which will make you feel fundamentally different than when you first woke up. The way you feel when you first wake up really isn't the way you'll feel only 20 minutes later at 5:20 a.m. when you run this strategy to bulletproof your neurobiology and battleproof your physiology. Please remember that, obviously, the sweaty movement also transforms your psychology over time. Even if you're usually a non-morning person and grumpy at the beginning of your day, you'll change the whole neurons that fire together, wire together thing. You'll feel the confidence every leader without a title needs. You'll have the focus to stay on task for hours and hours, so you get your most brilliant work done. And you'll feel much calmer. See, the boost in norepinephrine that fierce morning activity generates not only improves your attention, it leaves you feeling significantly more serene and more good. Research proves that exercise regulates the amygdala in the limbic system, the ancient brain we discussed in an earlier class at my beach in Mauritius, so that your responses to stimuli ranging from a hard project or a difficult client to a rude driver or a screaming baby are much more graceful instead of hysterical. Pretty marvelous benefits, remarked the entrepreneur. You're right, Mr. Riley. I couldn't put a price tag on having all these weapons of mass productivity in my arsenal. Precisely, said the billionaire as he hugged the entrepreneur. I do love you, too, he added. I'll miss you both. In that moment, the mentor's usual hopefulness shifted into some unknown sadness. Our time together is coming to an end. Maybe we'll meet again. I really hope so, but I don't know. His voice trailed off, and he looked away again, up at the white church that stood behind where they had gathered, a glorious tribute to the brightest examples of visionary architecture. The billionaire reached into a pocket of his black sweatpants and pulled out a pill, popping it into his mouth like a child consuming a tiny piece of candy. Anywho, as you can also see on the deconstruction, he went on, holding up the model, working out first thing in the morning also elevates your metabolism. And it fuels the fat-burning engine of your body so you burn any excess more efficiently and lean out more quickly. Another valuable triumph, right? Oh, and as you optimize your fitness you'll set yourself up to stay healthy your entire lifetime. Train harder, live longer, is a smart motto I built my empires by. You now know that one of the keys to legendary is longevity. Do not die. You can't. Own your game and change the world if you're pushing up daisies in a cemetery, the titan of industry articulated energetically. The primary point that I'm trying to offer on the first part of this calibrated versus superficial morning protocol is essentially this: your life will feel and work 100 times better when you're in the finest physical condition you've ever been in. Sweaty exercise is your first move after rising with the sun really is a total life changer. Period. So, do whatever it takes to code in this habit. Whatever it takes, cats. Can I ask you another question, Mr. Riley? The entrepreneur asked politely. Go for it, said the billionaire. What if I want to exercise for longer than 20 minutes? Totally cool, noted the billionaire. This morning routine isn't written in stone like those words carved into that obelisk up there, he added as he pointed up to the monument sitting on a small platform just above the Spanish Steps. Take all I'm sharing and then make it yours. Customize it to fit your preferences and make it bespoke, to suit your lifestyle. The billionaire inhaled a fresh breath of Roman air, the same air the emperors, gladiators, statesmen and craftspeople breathed 1,000 years ago. Just imagine breathing that air, and standing there with these three fascinating members of the 5 a.m. club. This brings me to the second 20-minute pocket of the 20-20-20 formula that you need to run over your victory hour. The time between 5:20 and 5:40 a.m. is when you reflect. What exactly do you mean by reflect? Asked the artist, exemplifying his newfound confidence in being a great student. He rubbed his goatee as he voiced the question. His arm rested around the entrepreneur's shoulder. As I've been suggesting during our time together, managing your morning well is a main skill of exceptionalists. Using the front end of your day expertly is such a key determinant of business eminence and personal magnificence. And one element of a cleverly granulated morning routine is a period of deep peace. Some quietude and solitude for yourself before the complexity starts arriving, and your family needs your energy, and all your other responsibilities take over. Tranquility is the new luxury of our society. So, during this segment of your victory hour, savor some stillness. Contemplate how you're living and on who you hope to become. Be thoughtful and intentional on the values you want to be loyal to over the hours ahead of you, and how you wish to behave. Consider what needs to happen for this to be a great day amid the construction of a legendary life. This pocket will be super important to me, remarked the entrepreneur as her bracelets clinked together. One of them was shiny and new. It bore the phrase, "All these early mornings will make me an icon someday." I agree with you, expressed the billionaire. Reflecting on what's most important to a life beautifully lived will leave you with what the spellbinder calls residual wisdom throughout the rest of the day. For example, thinking quietly about the weighty value of purely producing work that represents Mastery or remembering your commitment to treating people kindly and respectfully during the second pocket re-anchors those virtues within your awareness. And so, as you experience the remainder of your day, the residue of your reconnection with this wisdom stays in focus, infusing every single moment and guiding each one of your choices. Another butterfly flitted by. 3 more soon followed the first, almost poetically. The billionaire decided to deepen his explanation on reflection, but first popped another pill. He put a hand on his heart and looked at the sensational view of Rome. The way the light falls here really is like nowhere else, he thought. I'll miss my Roma. The billionaire stared down the steps at the white boat sculpted by Pietro Bernini and then glanced at the flower shop, also in the square below. In so many ways, reflection is a main source of transformation because once you know better, you definitely can do better. During this 20-minute segment of the Victory Hour, all you need to do is get serene, stay silent and enter the stillness. What a gift you'll give yourself in this era of such scattered attention, worry and noisiness. That would be a giant gift to give to myself, and to my business. Acknowledge the entrepreneur. I'm realizing I spend so much of my time doing and reacting, and so little of my time deliberating and planning. You've talked about how the great ones leverage periods of isolation. I've read that many famous geniuses had a habit of sitting in solitude for hours with nothing more than a pad of paper and a pen for capturing the insights that would start flashing across the screen of their imaginations. Yes, commented the billionaire. Developing a tremendous imagination is a highly important portal into a celebrated fortune. One of the things that makes the historic sites here in Rome so special is the sheer size of the structures. What vision and confidence the Romans who created them must have had. And what skill to have turned the ideas into something real. My point is that every single one of the sensational edifices in the eternal city is the product of the imagination of a human being, properly used. So, yes, you should also use the reflection pocket to invent, visualize and dream. 20 years from now, a quote I think comes from Mark Twain says, "You will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do." So, throw off the bowlines. Sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore. Dream. Discover. All great artists dream about a future few believe is possible, stated the artist sagely. Yup, nodded the billionaire. Another tactic you can practice at this time is to write out what the spellbinder calls a pre-performance blueprint. This is simply a written statement of your ideal day ahead. Researchers confirm that pre-commitment strategies work beautifully to increase your focus and discipline. To get things done, you'll have a clear and calibrated script for your day ahead, so it unfolds the way you want it to. Of course, nothing in business and life is perfect. Still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't do our best to pursue it. The heroic women and men of the world were all perfectionists. They were maximizers, immensely obsessed with being remarkable at all they did. So, take at least 10 minutes to write out your perfect day. The mogul peered over at the flower shop again. He raised his left index finger up to the Roman sky. A volcanically attractive young woman, with high cheekbones, tortoiseshell glasses, a gray linen blouse and fashionable trousers, stood up, holding a metal attaché case. She then sprinted up the steps like a cheetah chasing its dinner. "Hi, Vienna," said the billionaire as she arrived. "Sav, Mr. Riley," replied the young woman respectfully. "We are delighted to see you back in Rome. Sir, I have your items." The aide entered a code into the lock and the case sprung open. Inside were 3 luxuriously crafted journals, bound by the most supple Italian leather. The billionaire handed one to the entrepreneur and one to the artist. He lifted the last one, clutched it close to his heart and licked it. Yes, he actually licked his journal. When we're at the magical vineyards of South Africa, I'll explain why I just ran my tongue over my diary, the billionaire enthused with ever-increasing mystery. South Africa, quizzed the artist loudly. When are we going? Magical vineyards, queried the entrepreneur. The billionaire ignored them both. You're good, Vienna, spoke the billionaire to his assistant. Really good. Si vediamo dopo, he added, as she walked down the ancient steps and hopped onto the back of a black scooter that had been waiting for her, before it raced away. As the entrepreneur and the artist opened their journals, they saw a carefully detailed framework on the first page. Another learning diagram for us? Asked the artist in a grateful tone. See, noted the billionaire. Brother, I love these models, the artist said. Priceless teaching tools to make confusing concepts incredibly clear. And super relevant, added the entrepreneur. Clarity breeds mastery. Right, truth, affirmed the industrialist. And you're welcome, cats. But it's been the spellbinder who has invested decades of his rich life creating these frameworks to explain the philosophy and methodology of the 5 a.m. Club. They look simple because it's taken him his entire professional lifetime to handcraft them. It takes long years of extreme attention and ardent isolation to strip away the complexities of any work to reach the simplicity that sits at the touchstone of genuine genius. It's like when an amateur looks at a masterpiece. It looks simple, because he doesn't comprehend the expertise of the master in taking away all that was unnecessary. Removing the non-essentials to produce the gem takes years of dedication and decades of devotion. Making things look simple to the untrained eye is the mark of a maestro. The learning model in the lavish leather journals looked like this, just so you have a clear sense of what the three companions saw on that sunny morning in Rome. Let me get to the point of these gifts my assistant brought us, the billionaire continued. During the reflection pocket of the 2020 formula. Another absolutely winning move is to write in a journal. And so I had these. Made for you by an Italian craftsperson. Hope they work wonders for you. The magnate looked down via dei Condati. Street cleaners were hard at work. Tourists were strolling along the avenue, taking selfies and buying trinkets from street vendors. The spellbinder loves hanging with me here in Roma. If we're lucky, we'll see him later this morning. I know he went running at daybreak along the river to Prati before heading off to a fishing excursion at a place a few hours from here. Oh, by the way, he formalized writing in a journal for at least a few of the minutes between 5:20 and 5:40 a.m. with the term daily diaries. The key when you do this is just to write. Don't think too much. Simply download your commitments for the hours ahead, record your precious ambitions and activate your gratitude by listing what's good in your life right now. Please also use your journal as a place to process through any frustrations, disappointments and resentments in your heart so you let them go. It's miraculous how you'll release toxic emotions and low energy from your system when you write down your suppressed hurts, freeing up maximum creativity, premium vitality and unmatchable performance. A super way to fireproof and fortify my heart set, right? Said the entrepreneur. Yahoo! Applauded the billionaire, who then placed a finger upon the learning model on the first page of his journal. Here are some of the rewards you'll receive when you invest 10 or perhaps the entire 20 minutes of pocket number 2 of your victory hour in writing your daily diaries. And to repeat, so I reinforce, I suggest you don't write only the positive elements of your current life but also those aspects of your experience that are causing discomfort and pain. Because the quickest way out of hard emotions is to have the wisdom and courage to go straight into them. Feel them to heal them. Name them to let go of them. Put a written voice to the dark energy of life's burdens to dissolve them. These are breakthrough insights I'm revealing to you too here. Because once you reclaim the power blocked by Layers of toxic emotions and the wounds of the past, your mindset, heart set, health set and soul set will all soar exponentially. And when your four interior empires escalate through your effortful self-purification, your supreme self begins to assume command. This then yields the external empires you both hope to see more of. What I'm trying to explain is this: difficult feelings that you don't find a healthy way to remove become repressed, which creates stress, poor productivity and even disease. Cool diagram. Acknowledge the artist. Are you saying that if I don't feel the uncomfortable feelings, they build up and get stuck inside me to the point where I could get sick? Yes, what you just said is pretty much what I'm suggesting, Mr. Riley. Confirmed. Those stuck toxic emotions layer over your gifts, talents and higher wisdom. This is one of the primary reasons most people on the planet have forgotten the heroes they are. When we avoid feeling, we lose access to our most powerful selves and forget the truths of life, that each of us can accomplish astounding things, and produce astonishing works, and realize radiant health, and know true love, and live a magical life, and be helpful to many. I speak fact here, but most of us have so much fear, pain, anger and sorrow built up over our real selves, we have no sense of the opportunities that sit right in front of us. All that dark energy blinds us from seeing them, and blocks our access to our primal genius. The great people of history had this access. Today, the majority have lost it. A magical life, stated the entrepreneur. You keep speaking of magic. Sounds a little far out. A little granola. Yes, a magical life, responded the billionaire firmly, but politely. I'll explain how you enter the magic available to all of us when we get to South Africa. Once you learn what I'll teach you in the vineyard there, your ability to manifest more money, better health, greater joyfulness and deeper inner peace will grow dramatically. But I can't share anything about how to live in the magic yet. I'm not allowed to, commented the billionaire mysteriously. You need to feel a wound to heal a hurt, the billionaire continued with precision. I've endured a lot of suffering in my life. Business defeats, personal losses, physical failures. I'm actually going through something right now that's creating sorrow in my heart. The billionaire's high-spirited demeanor suddenly began to fade. For an instant, he looked older. He hunched over, and his breathing grew labored, but then he recovered. Anywho, the good news, he said energetically as he raised both arms high into the Roman air, is that I'm not carrying much past pain in my wonderful present and into my fantastic future. I used the daily diary practice during the reflect pocket of the 20-20-20 formula to move through and release it all. This skill alone is one of the reasons I'm so full of wonder, gratefulness and peacefulness, most of the time. And how I've been able to achieve so much. Living in the past steals so much energy from most people, you know. This is a massive explanation for why most people are so unproductive. The Spellbinders. The only person I've ever met who made the link between poor performance and emotional turbulence. But think about it. It's totally true. So imagine what doing your daily diaries each morning will do for your accomplishment and the success of your business, especially as you navigate what you're going through. The billionaire spoke with palpable empathy as he placed one lean arm around the entrepreneur and the other over the shoulder of her new boyfriend. And for your art, he added, turning to the artist. And carrying past pain is so exhausting, the artist agreed. We all get defeated, and sometimes nearly devastated by life. The billionaire kept on with his discourse. I also encourage you to find at least a few moments during the second pocket, between 5:20 and 5:40 a.m., to meditate. The Spellbinder taught me how to do so, and it has profoundly helped my concentration, my confidence, my performance and the calm that I feel while running a sophisticated business portfolio. And calm performers are the highest achievers. There's nothing crackerjack about meditation, so get over any biases you might have around the skill and go ahead and lock it in. It's simply one of the world's best ways to strengthen your focus, preserve your natural power and insulate your inner peace. There's a lot of wonderful science confirming the value of a regular meditation ritual, so, even if you want to dismiss the method, the data says it works phenomenally as a human optimization habit. Current research proves that regular meditation helps lower levels of cortisol, thus lowering your stress. It's also a strong way to grow the relationship you have with yourself. You need to make more time for you. 2. Scale your fluency and intimacy with your higher nature. To reconnect with your best part, that side of you that understands the impossible as mostly the untried, and that knows of your hidden reservoirs of luminosity, audacity and love. That portion of you that still can see the greatness in others, even when they behave badly, and that models positivity in the world, even when such virtues are not replied to you. Yes, go into this 20-moment sanctuary of silence and stillness each morning and remember all you truly are. Truth speaks in the solitude of the day's earliest light, and then carry this breathtaking knowledge with you through the remaining hours of the gift we call a day. The billionaire fell to the ground and did a series of rapid push-ups. Then, a plank pose followed. You're now very familiar with this quirky tycoon's bizarre maneuvers. I need to get on to the third pocket of the 20-20-20 formula so we can wrap up today's mentoring session. I've got a series of meetings set up for later. And then I'm off to a splendid dinner with Adriano, the spellbinder and a few other old friends, the billionaire said cheerfully. Sure, said the artist. No sweat. Of course, said the entrepreneur. We heard about a restaurant close to Campo di Fiori that makes great carbonara. We're trying it tonight. Yummy, acknowledged the billionaire, sounding more like a 5-year-old than a captain of commerce. He then continued his discussion on the morning routine of empire builders, superachievers and the saviors of our civilization. Suddenly, the billionaire clutched his stomach, wincing in pain. You okay, Mr. Riley? The entrepreneur asked as she rushed toward her mentor. Absolutely, he replied, pretending everything was fine. Let's keep moving. I'm totally committed to making sure you learn everything that was taught to me about the 5 a.m. club before I leave you. Please, just make sure you share the spellbinder's teachings with as many people as you can. You'll be improving the world as you do. I might not be able to, he said as his voice trailed off. Okay, the industrialist carried on. Let's keep going. Pocket 3 of the 20-20-20 formula is designed to help you grow daily. Remember the 2x3x mindset. To double your income and impact, triple your investment in 2 primary areas, your personal mastery and your professional capability. So, 5:40 to 6 a.m., the final segment of the victory hour, is when you deepen your base of knowledge, increase your acumen, improve your expertise and outlearn your competition. Leonardo da Vinci said, one can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself, said the artist. I love you even more today, the entrepreneur said. Well, I adore you more every day, he replied with a grin. Oh, brother, laughed the billionaire. I'm caught in a love fest. Right here, on the Spanish steps. He closed his eyes and recited these words of Stoic philosophy by Seneca. The Roman statesman. Each day acquire something that will fortify you against poverty, against death, indeed against other misfortunes as well, and after you have run over many thoughts, select one to be thoroughly digested that day. The billionaire opened his eyes and stated simply, leadership on the outside begins within. He added, during the final pocket, from 5:40 to 6 a.m., of the 20-20-20 formula, work on becoming more valuable, to your industry as well as to society. See, you don't receive success and influence only because of what you want. You attract it into your life based on who you are, as a person and as a producer. Private desire without personal development is like dreaming of having a gorgeous garden but not planting any seeds. We magnetize ourselves to excellent rewards by raising the value of ourselves. I made my fortune from this idea. As I improved, my capacity to improve the lives of more people improved. Through the elevated quality of my service. As I made myself more knowledgeable, I became more valuable to the fields in which I conducted my businesses, which lifted my income and my impact. Here's a concept fairly foreign in today's age. Read a book. Study the lives of the greatest men and women of the past by consuming their autobiographies during the Grow Pocket. Learn about the latest advancements in psychology. Devour works on innovation and communication, productivity and leadership, prosperity and history, and watch documentaries on how the best do what they do, and grew into who they are. Listen to audiobooks on personal mastery, creativity and business building. One of the traits all my billionaire friends and I have in common is we absolutely love to learn. We grow and capitalize on our gifts and talents relentlessly. We invest in expanding ourselves and our pro games constantly. We are all totally into reading, improving and feeding our limitless curiosity. Fun for us is going to a conference together. We go to one, at least one, every 3 months so we stay inspired, excellent and absolutely switched on. We don't spend much time on meaningless entertainment because we're just too invested in endless education. Life is very equitable, you know, said the mogul, sounding quite philosophical and now looking much stronger. You'll receive from it what you give to it. Key natural law there. So, give a lot more by becoming a lot better. Okay, so now you have it, Mr. Riley summed up exuberantly. A beautifully engineered, flawlessly calibrated morning routine for a world-class business and personal life. Embrace it fully, run it daily, or at least 5 days a week, and your productivity, prosperity, sense of joy and serenity will accelerate potently along with the value you are able to deliver to our world. What's next? Inquired the artist. We'll now go visit the dead, was the billionaire's only reply.